In a fantastical world, Kim Suho, a civil engineering student from South Korea, finds himself transported into the novel Night of Blood and Iron. He wakes up in the body of Lloyd Frontera, a dissolute young noble slated to die soon. However, instead of indulging in his new life of luxury, Suho is determined to change his fate and save the estate from financial ruin. He discovers the harsh reality of Lloyd's reputation, a drunkard and troublemaker who terrorizes the local tavern owner. His noble guardian, Javier Azran, the stoic and honorable knight from the novel, expresses disappointment in Lloyd's behavior and emphasizes his responsibilities. Suho soon learns about the hardships faced by the people in his territory, including a tavern owner whose mother suffers from the cold due to the lack of a proper heating system. This sparks an idea in Suho. He can utilize his engineering expertise to introduce underfloor heating, a technology unknown in this world. With newfound purpose and a plan in mind, Suho embarks on a project to not only improve the tavern owner's life but also potentially solve the estate's financial woes through a large-scale construction project. He sees an opportunity to turn his disadvantage into an advantage, utilizing his unique skills in a world devoid of such technology. Lloyd, after causing a mess the night before, sincerely apologizes to the tavern owner and offers to build an andal, a heated floor, as compensation for the damage and to help his ailing mother. The owner is skeptical but intrigued, and Lloyd, a civil engineering student in his past life, draws up a contract and begins planning the construction. Javier initially disapproves, believing Lloyd is exploiting the situation. Lloyd, however, is determined to succeed. He surveys the land, gathers materials, and starts construction with his own hands, even convincing the hesitant Javier to help. The news of their project spreads throughout the estate, sparking curiosity and anticipation. Rumors flew through the fiefdom about Lloyd's strange behavior. He was seen digging in the tavern's backyard, raising walls, and working tirelessly. Whispers ranged from accusations of him losing his mind to speculation about his motives, including escaping his father or building a secret storage facility. Despite the gossip, Lloyd persisted, driven by a desire to help the tavern owner's ailing mother. He received unexpected support from Javier. Javier, initially skeptical, acknowledged his duty to help the weak and found himself impressed by Lloyd's unconventional skills. Lloyd, drawing on his past life experiences, meticulously built the andal room. He tackled challenges like creating an underfloor heating system and ensuring the roof's longevity. The process was arduous, filled with trial and error, but ultimately rewarding. Meanwhile, the Baron, Lloyd's father, summoned him, suspicious of his son's activities. Misunderstanding the situation, the Baron assumed Lloyd was acting out due to the family's recent financial troubles. However, Lloyd, reminded of his own past, surprised his father by expressing his support and determination to help. The construction of the andal room reached its completion. Lloyd, proud of his work, lit a fire to test the heating system. A satisfied smile spread across his face as he felt the warmth radiating from the floor. He eagerly awaited the reaction of the customers and the impact his creation would have. The tavern owner is pleased, and despite initial skepticism, others in the community become curious. Lloyd secures pre-contracts for andal room construction, overcoming doubts due to his troubled reputation. He strategically uses rumors to attract attention and secure business. As he successfully gains pre-contracts, Lloyd aims to establish a heating business and pay off debts. Meanwhile, Javier, his protector, observes Lloyd's transformation and contemplates his changing attitude. Unexpected messages about increased favorability and RP, relationship points, appear before Lloyd's eyes. Lloyd experiences a sudden influx of messages revealing his increased favorability with Javier Azran and the option to enhance talent skills using acquired RP. Intrigued, Lloyd navigates through the messages, learning about the mechanics of favorability, relationship improvement, and RP investment and skill enhancement. Confused but determined, Lloyd decides to invest his RP in basic surveying and basic design skills, unlocking abilities related to precise terrain calculation and three-dimensional blueprint visualization. Excited, he tests these skills, amazed by their practical applications. However, his RP is almost depleted, and Lloyd stumbles upon an intriguing option, a fantasy creature random draw. Lamenting his lack of RP, he realizes the need to gain more by improving relationships. Seizing the opportunity, Lloyd intervenes in a confrontation between the Baron and debt collectors, using legal technicalities to drive them away. Though the Baron questions his actions, Lloyd assures him by providing funds from the Andal room sale. As Lloyd leaves the study, he anticipates the response from the Baron, which indeed results in increased favorability and RP. Lloyd then used his accumulated points to summon a fantasy species, and to his surprise, a hamster named Padung appeared. Despite initial skepticism, Lloyd discovered that Padung possessed unique abilities. The hamster could change its size by consuming special sunflower seeds and had various skills in its gigantic form, such as earth digging and ground tilling. Lloyd tested Padung's capabilities by having it dig a trench, fill it, and carry a large rock in its cheek pouches. Impressed with the results, Lloyd considered the hamster as a versatile and valuable asset. With Padung's portability, Lloyd planned to keep it hidden and carry a summoning spellbook for potential future use. As he returned to his bedroom, he contemplated the next steps in utilizing his newfound construction equipment. Lloyd aimed to assemble a skilled construction team to efficiently carry out on-site work, leveraging the success of allocating Andal rooms during the day. In the Frontera Barony, a rural territory in Laurasia, the armed forces were pitifully small, consisting of only 5 knights and a militia of around 100 soldiers. Baron Frontera decided to transform these soldiers into an elite force through construction work. Lloyd gathered 80 soldiers to harvest clay for building Andal rooms. Lloyd emphasized the importance of labor in military training, and the soldiers, though initially reluctant, followed his lead. As the day concludes, Lloyd evaluates the progress and anticipates further challenges, especially with the arrival of Sir Newman, a figure from Baron Frontera's troubled history. Newman, a senior knight in Baron Frontera's estate, was skilled in swordsmanship but prioritized personal gain over loyalty. He betrayed the Baron by selling internal information to a swindler, causing the Baron's downfall. Lloyd confronted Newman, provoking him into a formal duel. In the heated exchange, Lloyd, inexperienced in swordsmanship, challenged Newman, offering to relinquish his right of inheritance if he lost. Newman, feeling cornered, accepted the duel. Despite Javier not being obligated to interfere in duels, Lloyd asked him to teach swordsmanship. Javier refused, fearing it might lead to more trouble. In a cunning move, Lloyd hinted at knowing Javier's secret struggle with insomnia, proposing to help if Javier agreed to teach him swordsmanship. Lloyd continued to tease Javier about his insomnia, prompting Javier to finally agree to the deal, but not without skepticism. In an attempt to help Javier sleep, Lloyd began a monotonous recitation of technical details about construction materials. To Javier's surprise, this unexpected approach actually lulls him to sleep for the first time in years. Now dependent on this bizarre ritual, Javier has no choice but to accept Lloyd's terms, handing over his swordsmanship expertise in exchange for nightly lullabies from the engineering textbook. The next morning, Javier is surprised to find Lloyd awake and determined to start training. Lloyd shows unexpected endurance during grueling exercises, leaving Javier speechless. Through Lloyd's actions and words, Javier realizes his own biases and prejudices against the young lord. He admits his shortcomings and agrees to focus on being a better teacher. Despite days of rigorous sword training, Lloyd's dedication surprises everyone. As the training progresses, Lloyd's affinity with Javier increases, earning him valuable RP, relationship points. Lloyd's training routine involves running and basic sword techniques. Lloyd's unexpected commitment to mana resonance training surprises Javier, who guides him through the process. The dynamic between the two shifts when Lloyd reveals his true goal, to learn the powerful Azran technique. Javier, taken aback, realizes that Lloyd's intentions go beyond basic training. He had never disclosed this technique to anyone. Lloyd claimed to have overheard it during Javier's sleep talking, creating a mysterious atmosphere around Lloyd's abilities. Lloyd further intrigued Javier by suggesting an alternative approach to the Azran technique, proposing a circular structure outside the man heart. Although skeptical, Javier agreed to test Lloyd's theory. To his surprise, the new method worked, and Javier completed the Azran technique with triple circles. As preparations for the duel with Sir Newman intensified, Lloyd commissioned a special weapon from the blacksmith. The morning of the duel arrived, and Lloyd felt confident that with the Azran technique and his custom-crafted weapon, he was ready to face Sir Newman and cut down the traitorous knight. The residents, expecting Lloyd's defeat, gathered to witness the event. Lloyd, however, surprised everyone by showing up with a shovel instead of a proper weapon and adopting an unfamiliar stance. Despite the jeers and doubts, Lloyd remained calm and collected. As the duel began, Newman charged with his sword, confident in his skills. But to everyone's shock, Lloyd's shovel effortlessly blocked the blow. Even more unbelievable, the mana Newman channeled into his sword was being absorbed by the shovel. Weakened and confused, Newman was struck by Lloyd's shovel, sending him reeling. The outcome of the duel was a complete reversal of expectations. The once mocked Lloyd had gained the upper hand, leaving the crowd and even Newman himself speechless. Lloyd, armed with only a shovel, disarms and overpowers Newman using a combination of unconventional tactics and unexpected skills. Instead of ending the duel, Lloyd declares this the beginning of a bigger plan and strikes Newman with the shovel, demanding a confession. Lloyd, armed with a steel shovel, relentlessly beats Newman, even after he drops his sword and surrenders. The Baron intervenes, commanding Lloyd to stop, but Lloyd continues the assault, revealing evidence of Newman's betrayal. The evidence, a letter exchanged with a fraudster named Toryuds, shocks the Baron, exposing Newman's role in the territory's downfall. Lloyd steps in to address the situation and assert his stance as a contender for the territory's successor. Lloyd suggests a lenient punishment, dropping a mouse on Newman's head and demoting him to a common soldier. The proposal baffles the crowd, but Lloyd strategically presents it as an opportunity for Newman to reflect and redeem himself. The Baron, impressed by Lloyd's calculated approach, accepts the proposal. Newman, seemingly compliant, accepts the conditions but harbors revenge plans. As the Baron grants permission, Newman smiles ominously. However, Lloyd's true intentions become apparent as he reveals a hamster, Padong, which transforms into a gigantic creature, attacking Newman. After punishing Newman, Lloyd decided to deal with Towards, the real estate agent conman that Newman conspired with. Towards and his bodyguard tried to escape by jumping out the back window, but Javier was already waiting for them outside. The bodyguard fights Javier with his gravitational magic, but to his surprise, Javier is much stronger than he thinks. Javier, having unlocked his third circle mana heart, easily defeated the bodyguard. The bodyguard escapes, leaving Towards behind. Javier is about to kill Towards, but Lloyd stops him. Lloyd tied Towards down and offers him a contract of employment. The contract states that 80% of his salary will be deducted as payment for the money he defrauded from the Fronteras. As Javier thought, Lloyd has a bigger plan for Towards. Meanwhile, the residents, once wary of Lloyd, now treat him with admiration and respect due to his impressive feats of defeating senior knights and showcasing summoning magic. As they stroll through the territory, Lloyd reveals his grand plan for development, envisioning a paved road that will lead to the rise of Frontera barony as a powerful and influential territory in the kingdom. The Roman Empire's legacy of extensive road networks inspires Lloyd to pave the way for progress in his own territory. Armed with a belief that well-constructed roads are the backbone of development, he envisions a future where his land flourishes. Lloyd's discourse with Javier unveils the significance of transportation and the impact it has on land value. As they stand in a territory lacking proper roads, Lloyd is determined to change the status quo. He reveals his ambitious plan to construct a road reminiscent of the ancient Via Appia, cutting through the heart of the territory. The construction of the paved road in the Frontera territory unfolded with Lloyd's enhanced survey and design skills. Padung, a creature that grew in size with a red sunflower seed, played a crucial role in excavation. The soldiers efficiently cleared the soil while Padung compacted it. Lloyd strategically utilized Padung as both an excavator and roller, significantly accelerating the construction process. Despite doubts among soldiers and residents about the road's purpose, Lloyd remained focused on the project. As the road extended through the territory, stonemasons and construction brigades paved it with carefully laid stones. Finally, with the unveiling of a signboard indicating the planned construction of the Backstone mine, Lloyd's grand plan for the territory began to unfold. And that's it for the first episode. Thank you so much for watching. Part 2 will be uploaded soon.